And now I'm sitting here with the same body my mother had when she was my age. And it's just that lack of the hourglass. The hourglass is the most pleasing body silhouette because it's balanced. And when we lose our waist definition, I think that we want to do something to create a definition.
Stay tuned for Serena Butler, the force behind Style with Serena, sharing her tips with us today on the DD Podcast. Hi, this is Kim from Dorothy's Daughter. Welcome to my channel. Today I have the privilege of interviewing Serena Butler from Style with Serena. She's going to help us determine what is going to look best on our figures and with our complexions and all those good things we take into account. So stay tuned. This is a lot of information. Grab a cup of coffee. Here we go. Serena Butler is the force behind Style with Serena, and she's going to share with us some tips of how to make our makes look better on our bodies and whatever we need to do as far as elevate our style. So Serena, would you tell us just a little about your channel?
So my channel, I started it about 3 years ago, and I got started really because I had recently turned 50 and I was just feeling in a style slump and I wasn't sure what I should be wearing. I didn't want to be out of style, but I didn't want to look, I still wanted to look age appropriate. And so I started looking for resources online and I turned to YouTube. And after I started watching some channels and I started doing some subscription boxes, I got more comfortable with my style and I realized that there are not a lot of fashion or style content creators out there who are 50 plus.
Yeah,
So I decided to start my own channel.
I love
And
that.
so that's how it got started. And it has just grown from there. And I love it. It's turned into a full-time job for me. And I love what I do. So that's how it got started.
That's amazing. I think too, confidence plays into that a lot. Just having confidence in your figure. And for a lot of viewers on my channel, it's a lot of it is just plain having clothes that fit. But once we master that, then we want to choose things that will enhance our appearance. I actually found you when I was doing the same thing, looking for channels that would help me choose fabrics and colors and just patterns that would enhance my figure because it's middle-aged. And the last pair of pants I made, I actually had to cut 3 different sizes. It was crazy, and it's nice to have a resource that will help us spend the time on things that are going to look good on us, because sewing was an investment of time and money. But when you invest your time and then you don't like wearing it because it doesn't make you look right, that's hurtful.
Yeah.
Wasteful.
That's got to be disappointing.
It
And
is.
I don't know anything about sewing. I don't sew. I've never sewn, but my younger daughter, she loves sewing. And
Oh,
so she has an old soul, I guess you would say. She has a lot of hobbies like crocheting and cross stitch and sewing, and she learned a lot of the basics from her grandmother on her father's side, but she has just taken it to a whole nother level, and she sews period costumes and all this stuff. She's really talented,
you should
but I
encourage
don't know
her.
anything about it.
Yeah, that's awesome. You should encourage her to get on our Facebook group and share her makes so we can see. That would be awesome.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure the ladies would love to see that. Especially cosplay stuff like that. That's a genre all in itself. Like, it's really difficult, and we don't see a lot of that in the Facebook group and the subscribers to my channel. But I think it's fascinating, just fascinating.
Yeah, I'll tell her about that. Yeah, you'll have to share your Facebook group with me because I think she feels a little bit isolated. I mean, she's in college, So there aren't a lot of her peers who are interested in sewing.
Mm-hmm.
So she would really, I know she would really enjoy sharing her creations with an audience that would really appreciate it.
And a lot of us sew for teen grandchildren. So we
Mm-hmm.
probably benefit from her take on things. We don't want to sew
Yeah.
it's real old fashioned that they don't want to wear. The hard thing is too when you make a gift and then they don't want to wear it.
Yeah.
Difficult. So yeah, she could share
Yeah.
her with us for sure. All right, so I did gather some questions from the Facebook group, and if you're watching,
Mm-hmm.
never seen our Facebook group, it's Dorothy's Daughter Community, and it's basically centers around the things we talk about on the channel. People share their makes, and we help each other when we have a fit issue. There's lots and lots of help on there. Seasoned seamstresses, even more than me, a lot of them, and I've been sewing for over 50 years. So, yeah, there's a lot of people there that would help. All right, let's go into the first question that I had, which I think is just it's a general one, but that'll set the stage for a lot of what I think we're going to be talking about, and that is the menopausal season of life, or even perimenopausal season of life. That whole time your body's changing and size isn't what it used to be. And how do you keep up with that? How do you adjust? Especially, she said, she wants to show off a 180-pound weight loss that she's had, but she wants,
That's
I know, is that incredible? I don't remember who posted this one, but congratulations, 180 pounds. Wow. I mean, even 50 is amazing, so 180 is just,
mhm.
but in order to not like show that because I have lost a lot of weight as well, and you end up with skin that doesn't have the elasticity that it used to have.
Mhm.
And if you think stretch marks are bad when you're pregnant, this is like really bad. So how do you adjust and cover those up without being like wearing a sack?
Yeah, changing bodies is something that I can definitely relate to at my age. I guess I'm going through menopause right now, and but that weight loss is amazing, and yeah,
Mhm.
kudos to you for that. I think the biggest challenge for us in middle age or menopausal, postmenopausal is losing our waist definition, and I am experiencing that. I can remember making fun of my mother for her body type when I was young and I had more of an hourglass figure, and now I'm sitting here with the same body my mother had when she was my age. And it's just that lack of the hourglass. The hourglass is the most pleasing body silhouette because it's balanced. And when we lose our waist definition, I think that we want to do something to create a definition. And the biggest mistake that I see people make is they want to hide behind oversized clothing. They want to hide behind, they don't feel good about their midsection or whatever. And so they feel like, well, I'm going to wear something bigger to cover that up. But that actually has the opposite effect of what you're trying to accomplish. Wearing something that's loose and doesn't have a nice shape to it, you can't tell what's going on behind all that fabric, and it gives the illusion that you fill out all that fabric, whether you do or not.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's very important to wear something with a little more structure that's going to help define a shape for you and not get lost in extra fabric. Don't hide behind too much fabric.
That's very helpful. I learned that the hard way. I have pictures of myself when I weighed much more than I weigh right now. And I was younger even, but I just weighed a lot. And I would just wear the longest, biggest tops I could find. So getting into like all the fruit, right? So a couple different people talked about the apple figure, which is basically
Mm-hmm.
been talking about here.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also the pear-shaped figure, which
Mm-hmm.
that's me, except I added the menopause bulk around the waist now as well. So it's a triangle actually. But
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, how do you deal with the pear-shaped figure and sort of
Okay.
minimize the oversizedness of our booties?
Yeah, so another mistake that I see a lot of pear-shaped women make is, and this kind of goes along with that jeans question. I think there was a jeans question maybe somewhere in here.
Mm-hmm.
Skinny jeans were have been big for a long time. They're going out now. And wearing something with a very fitted leg, whether it's pants or jeans or whatever, if you're pear shape, that's going to emphasize your pear shape because you're going to create this cone, from the widest part of your hips down to your ankles if you're wearing something that's tight around your legs, and it's going to emphasize that. So for pants or jeans, the best thing for a pear shaped body is going to be either a boot cut, because what that's going to do, it's going to be more fitted through the hips and thighs, but then it's going to flare out at the bottom, and that's going to help balance out the hips. Also, right now, wide legs are very popular. And depending on your height, some people are not crazy about the notion of wide leg pants, but if you're tall enough to pull it off, those are going to be great for pear shaped bodies because it's going to just camouflage that, and it's going to make your legs look longer, especially if you put on a little bit of heel. Now, on the other end of the body, what you want to do with pear shapes, most pear shapes are characterized by the more narrow shoulders and then you're wider at the hips. So wear something that's got some detail or attention up top and at the shoulders. So a blouse that has a gathered or maybe a little bit of a puffy sleeve, or maybe with a ruffle along the seam here on a blouse going into spring, a little ruffle. That's going to draw the attention up and also help balance out the width in your hips.
Awesome. What if you have large arms as well? Like I have, since I've lost a lot of weight, I have these kind of bat wings. So
Yep.
I always liked flutter sleeves, but I don't know that they would look that great on me. But what would you suggest for that?
For ladies who are trying to camouflage or conceal their upper arms, and that's a question that I get all the time on my channel, especially in the summer, because I tend to show things that are short sleeve or maybe sleeveless or something, and I get a lot of questions from people saying, I don't like my upper arms, what can I wear? And to that, I say an elbow length sleeve. I see a lot of t-shirts, and maybe there are patterns for you guys to use that just come down just above the elbow.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't want something tight, then kind of volume sleeves are still having a moment.
Mm-hmm.
So something with a gather, a couple of things for upper arms that I think are really going to work well for this season, this year, is all the eyelet fabric that we're seeing. I mean, I've got on an eyelet blouse today, and you can wear a long sleeve blouse made of eyelet, or maybe one that comes just to your elbow with a gathered sleeve, and that's going to conceal your upper arms, but with all the perforations in the eyelet, you're still going to be cool when it gets hot this summer. And eyelet is a really big trend for this year, so that would be a good fabric, I think, to incorporate into your spring and summer items. I have two pieces. One is a long sleeve eyelet blouse, and it's a more open eyelet than the one I'm wearing right now. And it's so open, as a matter of fact, you really need to wear like a tank top underneath it. But it's so cool because you've got all that airflow. So that's going to be great for concealing arms. And then I also have a t-shirt. The body of the top is like jersey knit fabric, but then just the sleeves, they come down to the elbow,
Mm-hmm.
and they are eyelet.
What about colors? Are there colors that make you look larger, smaller? Are there colors you should avoid? I know in my other life as a wedding photographer, I they would ask me what color to make their bridesmaids dresses, and I just used to tell them to stick to jewel tones because those look better on everybody, including the bigger girls. But what would you suggest for colors to avoid? What I know there's a whole science behind color, but just the
Y- Yeah, I am not a color expert. So I know there is that whole science behind it, and I would like to get my colors done. I've never done that. I would be curious to see. I have an idea just because I know my coloring is more cool toned, and
mm-hmm.
I know colors that I look better in, and I think that is going to vary for everyone. But I also believe that we shouldn't limit ourselves. I think if you like a color, then wear it. If it makes you happy and it makes you feel good. And there are certain colors that I personally am drawn to because I like that color and I feel good when I wear it. So that's my color philosophy is wear what you like.
I love that because you're drawn to the things that make you. After a while, you know what looks good and what doesn't.
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay. What about swimsuits and especially like the lower belly area? A lot of us have that whole apron thing, especially if we've lost weight. Yeah,
Yeah.
real hard thing with bathing suits.
Well, I have not lost a lot of weight and I'm not a plus size person, but even I have that lower belly apron.
Mm-hmm.
And you might not know that looking at my channel, but I do have it. I've had three children. And after that third one, that, well, I had him a little bit later in life. I had him when I was 43, but that skin did not snap back like it did after the first two. So I have got my own little apron belly, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And it is a challenge. It's a challenge because even though I may not be a large person, if I put on a swimsuit, depending on the color or the fabric, you can see that apron outline through the swimsuit, and I hate that.
Me too.
So, my tip, well, there's a couple of tips, and these are things that I use myself, is pattern. Don't do a
Mm.
solid. Don't do a solid color swimsuit. Use a pattern.
Yeah.
When it when it comes to concealing anything like that, pattern is your friend.
Awesome. Never thought,
Yeah.
especially we tend to get the printed tops and like the black bottoms, you
Hmm.
know, a two-piece swimsuit, and maybe it would look better if you switched that out. Did the
Switched it, or even do all, even if it's a two piece like a tankini, just do it all in the same fabric because I love the ease of a tankini for taking it on and off and going to the bathroom and all that. I like the two piece, but I don't want to show my stomach, so I like the tankini style.
yeah.
So yeah, but even if it is a tankini, you could do it in the same fabric and give it kind of the look of a one piece.
Hmm. Okay.
So I say pattern. Pattern is going to obscure a lot of that. The other thing is ruching, and
Mm.
now I don't know anything about sewing, so I don't know how hard it is to
No.
work with like that swimsuit fabric. I have no idea. But anything that's got some ruching across your tummy area, that's going to help too, because you just don't quite know what's going on behind there when
Yeah,
you've got some ruching.
that's awesome.
And also the skirted. I love a tankini with a skirt. That's
It's
probably my favorite swimsuit style.
mm-hmm.
And then that way you can make the skirt as long or short as you feel comfortable, depending on the rest of your body and your thighs or whatever. So I would do that pattern, some ruching, and a swim skirt.
That's a great wow. Great. See, this is why we're having you tell us all this. Would have never thought of that. So what about height? We referred to height, and I know you're a shorter person as well.
Hmm.
I'm 5'3", but I'm also a size 18. Not very tall, and when I was heavier, I was wider than I was tall. But and my height is all in my body, so my legs are extremely short.
Okay.
So what would you do for someone who's short and has especially short legs? What would you avoid? I'm not talking about
Okay.
necessarily, but pants, wide legs. I don't get away with those too well. I do them once in a while.
They are They are difficult to pull off, especially when you're short, no matter what your size is. When you're short, they can be hard to pull off.
Mhm.
I admit that. But for petite people, and that's so funny because petites come in all different sizes. See, you you have the short legs and long torso. I'm the other way around. I am 5'2", so I'm shorter than you, but I have a 30-inch inseam. So I'm all leg and I have a very short torso. I can wear a wide leg and a heel and it makes me look taller. But the biggest thing for making your legs look longer is high rise on your pants. And because that's just number one, it's going to help hold things in and it's going to make your waist appear higher up and that's going to lengthen your legs.
Awesome. That.
Whereas me, I can't do the super high rise pants because I'm so short waisted that if I get them that are really super high rise, they're digging into my bottom rib and they're uncomfortable. So a mid rise pant or jean fits me more like a high rise does on an
Hmm.
average or normally proportioned body.
Yeah, I have a very long waist, but then
Hmm.
from there on, I'm just tree trunk. That's what, yeah.
Yeah. Well, then high rise, and then if you wore high rise pants, jeans, and then do something to define your waist, whether it's like a top with a peplum. That way, I love peplums
Mm-hmm.
because especially for those of us who have that little tummy pudge, that middle-aged pudge, because the peplum gives you the look of that hourglass silhouette, but then you've got that peplum that kind of covers up your tummy area and kind of conceals that. So I love a peplum.
Mm-hmm.
So a high rise pant with a peplum top would be great, I think.
Awesome. Okay, back to fabrics again. What
Mm-hmm.
fabric prints are like if someone this lady was over 70 and she's concerned that there might be some prints that are too, I guess, loud or whatever for her age. What are there any prints you should avoid once you get a certain age? She examples she asked about were animal prints, large scale prints,
Oh yeah.
so on. Yeah. So what?
Again, I'm a very big proponent of wear what you like no matter what your age is.
Yes.
If you like it, wear it. I get kind of fired up about the comments that I get on my channel or on Instagram from people saying that you're too old for this or that. And because I say, says who? Patterns and clothing don't come with age labels in
Right.
them.
Right.
But that being said, I feel like some of the really bold and large floral prints tend to be aging, but that's only because manufacturers have marketed those kinds of patterns and colors toward more mature women. I don't know
Mm.
why, but they
So the,
do. If you look at retailers that are geared toward women over 50, you typically see a lot of the bold and large scale florals and things like that.
mhm.
And for that reason, I think they have a connotation of being aging. Maybe a mid size floral or smaller might be better, and maybe not quite as many colors. I try to go by like a three color rule. Like, don't have any more than three colors going on in a pattern or in your outfit. But I
Mhm.
have I have more of a simplistic style. I wouldn't say it's minimalist, but maybe more classic.
Mhm.
And but I love an animal print and I especially love it in accessories. And I think that you're never too old to pull in an animal print in a scarf or a belt or a pair of shoes or maybe even a bag, a handbag.
That's cool. What about jewelry? How much
Mm-hmm.
is too much? Like a while back, a lot of the big statement necklaces were really in style. I see those going away, and a lot of people
Mm-hmm.
liked those that drew their attention up to their face instead of their body.
Mm-hmm.
But would like I don't know, I and I'm probably wrong, but I have this like unwritten rule in my head. If I wear earrings like this, I either don't
Hmm.
wear a necklace or I wear a small one. Is there a rule to follow with that?
I wouldn't say there's necessarily a rule, but I think you're on the right track. I think if you wear like a statement pair of earrings, then keep your necklace, either omit a necklace or keep it very simple.
Mm-hmm.
So just choose one statement piece. Similarly, if you want to go with a more bold necklace, that's fine. But don't do the necklace and matching earrings and then a stack of bracelets on your wrist. Pick one thing and let that piece like really shine and go more subtle with the other pieces.
Awesome. My mother was an amputee, and so she was in a wheelchair for a lot of her life, and she always said that she wore all this stuff to keep people from seeing the wheelchair, but she would have a big necklace, chunky necklace, great big earrings, ruffled sleeves like this, and
Mm-hmm.
it was just like, Mom, take one of those off. just it was like too much. My husband used to call her Judy Jetson because she would have these.
Oh, but you know, again, that depends on your personal style, and maybe that was
Mhm.
her personal style. And
Yeah,
in the last
it
few
was.
days, Iris Apfel, I don't know if you know who she is,
Yeah,
Iris Apfel passed away, and that
me
was like
too.
her thing. She wore huge necklaces, big, huge earrings, bangles, loud prints, and the big black glasses. That was her trademark.
She made people feel young, and no matter what age.
Yeah.
What? I didn't know she passed away. That's so sad.
Yeah, she did just a few days ago. I think she was
Mm.
103, 104.
Oh my goodness. Well, she sure
Yeah.
right to the end, didn't she?
Yep. Yep. She did.
Good.
So don't let that put a damper on your personal style. If you're known for wearing the big necklaces or wearing the big earrings and you love it and people know that about you and that's part of your
Mm-hmm.
signature look, then embrace it and go for it. But if you're looking for a guideline and you're not sure, then I would say pick one item to go bold with and then more restrained on the others.
Are there any specific videos you would point us to about any of the questions that we've talked about here?
Yes, recently I did a video about the best jeans for your body type.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I'm only one body type, but I do show a variety. I show slim leg jeans, boot cut, straight, flares, wide leg, cropped, and so you can see the different fits. And then I describe the different body shapes and what characterize those body shapes and which of these jean styles look best on the different body types. So I would definitely suggest that one, and I can send you a link to it, and you can put it with this. And then also last year I did a video, and I'll probably do another one at some point this year about tips to conceal a tummy.
Mm, that'd be good.
And some of it we've talked about here today already, but I had some other tips in there that I can't remember now because it's been almost a year since I did that one, but that would be a good one too.
What about belts? Are you a fan of belts when you're an older lady, or I used to like big wide belts because I had a smaller waist than I did anything
And you've got that long torso, so they
else.
probably looked really good on the wide belt. It
Way more.
helps break up your long torso. Again, I think belts are a personal preference, and I don't think you're ever too old to wear a belt, not at all. It depends on the outfit and it depends on your body type. And again, going back to my body type because that's the one I'm most familiar with, I'm not a big fan of belts because I'm so freakishly short waisted and I feel like they make me look even more short waisted. And if I do wear a belt, I will wear a thinner belt
Okay.
because if I wear a wider belt, especially with a high rise pair of pants or jeans,
Mm-hmm.
then it becomes uncomfortable to me when I sit down because it's digging in, like I said, to my rib cage.
Got it.
But no, I think belts are a great accessory and they can really dress up an outfit. And no, I don't think you ever get too old to wear a belt. And I got a comment recently on one of my videos from someone saying that they told me that I needed to be wearing a belt because if a pair of pants has belt loops, that you needed to wear a belt unless you were covering like the waistband and the belt loops didn't show. And I don't think that's necessarily true, especially not with jeans. That's a casual thing. But so I think it's just a matter of personal preference. Now, I do think belts look nice if you're wearing a pair of dress pants with a blouse tucked in. I
Mhm.
do think, a belt just finishes off that look nicely. But I really think belts are personal preference.
Do you tuck your jeans in when you have that apron?
You can, yeah, because your waist area is probably still going to be smaller than your hips and your lower abdomen. So I would focus on that and try to show off a more narrow part of you.
Hmm.
And I don't know in the sewing world, I don't know about this, but maybe you could get a pair of jeans and deconstruct them and figure out how to do this. I don't, because I certainly don't know. But brands like Spanx that have the really
Hmm.
reinforced panels in the jean, they do a fantastic job
Yeah, we actually
of
have patterns like that.
smoothing out, yeah,
Hmm.
smoothing out the tummy and concealing that. This morning I saw an ad on YouTube, and it was a younger girl, but she was plus size, and she definitely had an apron belly, and she was talking about how jeans shopping used to be her absolute most dreaded thing, but that Spanx have been a game changer for her. And so you could see, and she pulled
Hmm.
on this pair of Spanx jeans, and it just tamed everything down, and you really didn't see that apron belly on her anymore. So I would experiment with that since y'all
Hmm.
are creating your own clothes.
Yes, that's awesome. So some people only make tops and don't try jeans. Jeans that you think fits better than others. Like a lot of ladies, they don't venture into jeans. They just do a lot of tops. So are there
Hmm.
any suggestions as far as brands to check out?
Yeah. So, well, Spanx, since we've been
Hmm.
talking about those, because they are pull on, they don't even have zippers. And I know that that comes in real handy for people who want to wear maybe a sweater or a knit top. And when you have a pair of pants or jeans that have a zipper and a button, you always have that showing through.
Hmm.
But a pair of pull on jeans like the Spanx are, you don't have that problem. So those would be good, and but they're pricey. My favorite brand of jeans, well, I have two, are Madewell and J. Crew, and they have some of that tummy slimming technology that Spanx does, but they're in a more traditional jean, with a zipper and button. So I like those. For a a little bit less expensive option, Wit and Wisdom and Democracy
Okay,
brands.
awesome.
Those are under $100, and they have it's like an elastic waist, but it's not. I mean, it's a regular waistband, but the
Hmm.
waistband is made of a stretchy fabric that's going to adjust and accommodate different sizes.
Yes,
I
I
mean,
think I
you get.
knew that I was testing a new jeans pattern for one of our favorite companies that I've actually been a brand ambassador for a while. That's Love Notions. They're coming out with a pull-on jean that actually
Mhm.
has a pocket panel that could be made from power mesh and easily because a lot of their other pants have that as well. And so, ladies, stay tuned because I think you're gonna have something really great that is gonna fit your suggestions coming up real soon. So I love stretch denim. I don't even buy regular denim anymore.
Mm-mm. No, I haven't had a pair of 100% cotton jeans, and I couldn't tell you how long.
So one other question, Serena, is there are there colors that are trendy this year for spring? Because we're all planning our spring wardrobes right now. So what colors are gonna be out there this year?
So last year we saw a lot of the really bright Barbie pink because last year was Barbie everything. And this year, it's not as much that bright fuchsia pink, but more of a pastel pink. You're going to see more of that. And one of the Pantone colors of the year for 2024 is called Peach Fuzz. So that is just what it sounds like. It's like a more peachy leaning pink. So that's a big color for this year, and I've already seen it in a lot of things. And if you look in the stores or look online, you're going to see a lot of that color. So I would look for that.
Mm-hmm.
And another color that's come on big this spring is lavender or lilac color.
Mm.
It's really popular, and it happens to be one of the colors that I like on myself. So so I really like the lavender, and I've already picked up a few lavender pieces. So those are some big colors for spring.
Those are nice colors to combine too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. Oh, and green.
Oh, yeah.
Like green, and I always associate green with spring anyway,
Mm-hmm.
but this year it seems like we're seeing a lot more green, and like a true Kelly green. Not a pastel green, but like a Kelly green. Seeing a lot of that in spring collections.
Cool. Do you think that's a harder one to pull off, or no? I guess I've always avoided it for myself, but I'm probably wrong.
I don't know. I think that it can. I'm just trying to imagine. I mean, you're blonde, I'm blonde, blue
Mm-hmm.
eyed. I wear it. I've always been a fan of green, and I don't think it looks bad on me. But then I think it also can look really striking on people who have like really dark hair,
Oh, yeah.
too.
Yeah.
So I think it's a color that can look good on a lot of people.
Awesome. Very good. Well, thank you so much for being with us today. I've learned so much. I think I
You're welcome.
tell people to grab a notebook and a pencil before you sit down to watch because there's a lot of information that you just shared with us. And I know there's so much more on your channel because I binged it one day and I was just like, have to have her on our podcast because it's down to earth and things we can actually wear. And that's what I
Yeah.
appreciate about your channel.
It's not high fashion.
It's not for models. I love watching Project Runway just because I love seeing
Mhm.
somebody sew something that fast.
Yes. Yeah.
But the styles, are just like, oh, I could never wear that.
Out there.
Most people would never wear that. What they call an everyday thing is to me avant garde. but
Right.
but I guess maybe in New York, I don't know. But I think I really appreciate that about your channel, that you are down to earth and talk about real women with real bodies that just need help a little bit. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, thank you. I've enjoyed this. This has been a lot of fun.
yeah, me too. Ladies, definitely check out Serena's channel and do it when you have some time because you're gonna want to watch more because that's what happened to me. I ended up binging it one day while I was sewing and just so much information, and it's really, really great. Serena, by chance, do you have a Pinterest that they
I
can?
do.
Okay, I'll have to look that. I thought I'd
I
looked every,
do.
but and also,
It doesn't have as much on there as on YouTube or my Instagram, but I'm trying to get it caught up.
mm,
But yeah, it's Style with Serena.
okay.
That's my name everywhere.
So thank you so much for being with us. I have learned so much. So definitely check out Serena's channel, and thanks for spending some time with us today.
You are so welcome, and thank you for asking. It's been a lot of fun.
Good. Thank you so much. What a great interview that was with Serena. What a nice person and so much great information. I just want to encourage you again to check out her channel, Style with Serena, and I will link it in the description below. I also want to remind you if you have not subscribed to our channel yet, go ahead and click that subscribe button down below and make sure you turn on notifications, not just on my channel, but also on the YouTube app so that you're notified when your favorite people post a new video. So thank you so very much. And thank you so much for joining me today. And as always, Hold your loved ones close today because life is short. All right, happy sewing.